In this episode, Daimyo. Hello everyone, welcome to a new video in the Warzone Chronicles. This is Alfie as usual. First of all, I'd like to start by apologizing for not having uploaded a video in so long. Many things have happened, I don't want to bore you with the details. So, as I said in the introduction, today we're going to go through one of the new units in the Corvus document. Okay, as usual, I'll leave a link to download in the description. And the unit we are going to take a look at is Daimyo, okay, which is like the leader of the different Keiretsu in the Mishima Mega Corporation. Essentially, like a leader or a feudal lord, so to speak, within the Mutant Chronicles universe. Okay, so let's start by taking a look at his stats. Well, for starters, you can see that his base stats are actually pretty good. Speed 6 inches, that can be improved with his boost ability, so great. Close combat 16, defense 3. Fantastic. As well, ranged skill of 16. One of the the exceptions in the generally not so great at shooting the Mishima Corporation. Then we have a strength of 12, average, constitution of 13, good as well. Willpower of 16, also good for key powers. Leadership 17, also a very high value. 4 wounds and an armor of 26 that can't go below 10 because that's his impenetrable armor. His size is 2. And only 125 points, so it's not really that overpriced. So looking at his description, we can see that he's a character, infantry, unique, and medium base. Deployment options, well, none, only regular deployment. And he comes equipped with the Tambu number 17 Dragonstone number 2 cannon, the Musashi battle blades, and okay, now in his options we can see that he may replace his Dragonstone turbo cannon with an enhanced Demon Fan rocket gun, okay, and that's for free, okay. So you simply choose which type of weapon you want, and also can be upgraded with up to 2 key powers for free, okay. So with a willpower of 16, that's actually pretty interesting. Okay, so now let's take a look at his weapons. So let's start with the Tambu number 17 Dragonstorm autocannon. Okay, so range of 24, pretty normal. Strength of 10, which is great. Rate of attack, ladies and gentlemen, rate of attack of 8. Okay, comes with a little setback to this, but you don't see many weapons in Warzone Resurrection with this rate of attack. Okay, in weapon abilities we have a strafe, which means that all the hits, all the dice have to be spread among all the primary and secondary targets. And this is the little thing that I mentioned earlier, which is ranged kill goes -4 when the shooter is further than 12 inches. Okay, so as we'll see in a minute, that means that his real ranged skill is around the lines of 10. Okay, and also for one resource, you can increase his rate of attack by 2. Okay, so that puts you up to 10. Okay, and then in terms of the rocket gun, we can see that the range is 24. Again, nothing spectacular, but good nonetheless. A strength of 13. Rate of attack of 1, and it's a missile launcher. Okay, the thing is, it has armor piercing of 6, so that is effectively strength of 20 versus vehicles, and most vehicles have 25 5, 27, 23. Okay, so that's really, really powerful against vehicles. And a critical force of 2, so that means it causes 2 wounds per hit. Okay, so with an extra resource, you could cause 4 wounds if you're lucky. Then close combat weapon, he has a Musashi battle blade, okay, so essentially a sword, which engages at 1.5 inches, has a strength of +3, so that's effectively 15, which is pretty good. Rate of attack of 2, good enough as well. The weapon abilities, are deadly, which means no heal saves against this weapon. Headshot, which means if you get a critical hit, or number 1, a power shot, you get critical force of 2. And sweep, which is also very interesting, which means that any model or any enemy model engaged with this model, you attack any miniature you engage with a rate of attack of 2. Okay. Now, in terms of Daimyo's abilities, we have boost, so for 1 extra resource you get an extra 2 inches of speed. Daimyo, which means that any model starting their activation within 9 inches of this model gain rate of attack +1 in close combat. Okay, so that's fantastic, before you're going to charge, okay, for example. Execution, which means that you can remove any friendly miniature within 6 inches, I think it is, to recover from pain and that kind of thing. Fearless of 5, okay, which means that he can, when rolling for fear, he gets 5 modifier. Okay. In initiative 1, that's another modifier to your initiative roll, in this case +1. Keiretsu Lord, which is probably one of the most interesting features of this model, which means that this model may choose up to 2 of the following squads as troops: Crimson Devils, Demon Hunters, Tiger Dragons, or Shadow Walkers, and each choice may be different. Okay, that is fantastic because that means that the traditionally more powerful support squads, like Demon Hunters, for example, now can generate a resource and free up 1 slot, to use in the support section. So that means that, for example, you can have a squad of Demon Hunters fielded as a troop, and still field a second, squad of Demon Hunters, or what, you have that free space in support. Okay. Also, this model may also choose up to 1 of the following squads as support: Khonshu Dragon Riders, Mecha, or a Fujin class Tatsuki Mecha. Okay. Another fantastic thing, because that means that you get an extra light vehicle, one of them as support. Okay. So great stuff. So as you can see, pretty good stats overall. And now let's take a look at the miniature that I am going to be using. As this miniature sadly won't be released because what happened. So it's all down to your imagination and your skills to... Well, according to the fluff, Daimyo is supposed to be a man in a massive battle suit. Okay, his size is 2, and he's supposed to be, between Hatamoto and Mecha, something in between. So, looking for possible proxies, I couldn't find something that that looked Japanese, that had that Mishima feel to it. Plenty of fantastic miniatures around, but none of them that that really felt that way. Until I came across a miniature from the Japanese faction of Infinity, by Corvus Belli, which I have used in the past, in previous videos, previous conversions. So I was pretty convinced by it. So when I finally received the miniature, I realized how tiny it was. It was kind of like smaller than a Demon Hunter, and Demon Hunters are size 1. So I had to come up with some solution for that. I tried to assemble the miniature using milliput putty, to kind of like make it taller and wider, kind of like chunkier. But as you can see in the photographs, the proportions were completely messed up, and there was no way to to make it look convincing. Plus this Daiyoukai Dengekitai, is very precise in its assembly. It assembles in an X, kind of like in assembly mode. And if you do anything to it, all the details and everything, just won't fit, properly. Okay, so in the end, I just decided to transform the Daiyoukai Dengekitai, as it is, which you can see here, into my daimyo. Okay, it in the end came out like this. Okay, so as you can see, it's a very simple. It's a very simple miniature. It's not much of a conversion. Okay, the only thing that I've done is remove one of the swords and replace it with a cannon, with a HMG. Of course, the basing, which is made, with cork, flock, and pink sponge, to simulate flowers. A couple of details that to make it a bit more Mishima, as in the logo, in the hat, you can see there, and the banner in his back, instead of the flaps or whatever it is that, whatever you call it, that it had originally. Okay, so this is the miniature. I think it's convincing enough. If a bit tiny, it's probably not big enough for a size 2. Okay, but with a big base, it could work. Right, so now to see how the miniature performs in game, we'll do a quick simulation on his ranged skill. Okay, as usual, a good friend and frequent collaborator, Nak, has offered to do a simulation on his Excel sheet to see how he performs. So leave it with you, Nak.
Well, Alfie, let's do a couple of simulations. Well, the first simulation, we will take into account that the primary target is farther than 12 inches, and also we are going to spend 1 resource in order to increase 2 attacks, right? Also, we are going to face those guys, Nazcarasites. Then, let's do the simulation. We're going to spend 1 resource in order to increase 2 attacks. Then that's 10. He has 16. The armor of the Nazcarasites is 22. They also have heal 2. Well, length penalty. And we are going to add the penalty of the weapon to the cover penalty. The size of the Nazcarasite and strength of the weapon. Well, it's not that bad. The average of success is 30%, and in this case the average of rounds is 3. Then one of them will die and other one has 1 round. Well, in the next simulation we will take into account that the primary target is closer than 12 inches. Also, there is no length penalty. There is no cover penalty. And let's see the result. Wow. The average of success is 53%, and the average of rounds is 7.26. Then, I'm sorry guys, you all are died. Well, Alfie, what do you think about it?
Thank you very much, Nak. That was, a very, very, very good simulation. Okay, so to answer your question, what do I think? Okay, so let's go for the final impressions. disclaimer, not having played Daimyo yet, okay, as of yet, only by what I've been told about it and my general impressions. Okay, so what I think of Daimyo. I think it's a very powerful miniature if used correctly. It's very fast. It's not very pricey in terms of points, and it's quite resilient, with good armor and 4 wounds. So it's perfect for army commander. Okay.